Hey guys, now you can follow me on Facebook. Just go to facebook.com/UltraMaximusReviews. Cybertron Weekly is your central hub for everything Transformers.
Oh no, monsters! At least it can't get any worse, right? Perhaps I was wrong.
You suck. Hello YouTube, Ultra Maximus back with another toy review, and today we're taking a look at another Transformers set from Transformers The Age of Extinction. It's the Toys R Us exclusive Infernocus Combiner set. And I picked this up at my local Toys R Us, and I really didn't expect to see this. I have not seen this on the shelf at all. They only had a couple of these, and I was really debating whether to get this or not. Quite frankly, the price point put me off. This was $34, and it's $4 more than the Minosaur set, or $5 more than the Minosaur set, and I don't think that one was worth $30, and I really don't think this is either. But it is an exclusive set. It is a pretty cool looking repaint with at least one new figure in it. So I thought, why not? I'll go ahead and give it a shot. So let's go ahead and take a look at the packaging. So here we have Infernocus in the package, and this character actually shows up at the end of Transformers The Last Night. Megatron calls on him to combine and attack the Autobots that are attacking whatever it was, part of Cybertron, coming down to get Unicron, and yeah, that whole mess of a movie. Yeah, there he is in package, and we get a little clear Quintessa, which is kind of cool. It's the only Quintessa figure that we get in the line. It says Transformers, Toys R Us exclusive. I guess that's the, what is that, Mission to Cybertron series, where they've actually been taking like an older figure, repainting it, and then putting it with a newer figure, which the Optimus Prime actually looks pretty cool. I may pick that up if it goes on sale. Yeah, this, I love the paint scheme. I love the look of the little, demon-looking bot in the middle, but the rest of them are Terrorcons from Transformers Prime Beast Hunters that are repainted. Granted, they're repainted very, very well, but we get pictures of them all right there. There's some action shots from the movie at the top. Again, action shot from the movie. And then we get a bunch of Cybertronian stuff on the side. So yeah, there he is. There are the other bots. There's Quintessa. It's a Toys R Us exclusive! And then here's a closer shot of all the artwork. Really quick, just kind of a pass through. And then, of course, we get all the Cybertronian stuff up there. Back of the package, we get a picture of Infernocus. We get a picture of Quintessa. And then it says, hey, it's got, what's it called? Decodable glyphs. Okay, yeah, that's a feature. Okay, it's decoration on the friggin' toy. And then it's got all the bots. Hey, this is how you transform them. There it is. It takes like 10 configurations to get this guy into wherever he's going. And yeah, that's pretty much it. So here's the back of the box. If you want to sit, there's Quintessa. And then here are all the other figures. Here are the rest of the figures, all that kind of neat stuff. And yeah, that's pretty much it for the packaging on this guy. Let's go ahead and get Infernocus out of box and see what we think. So here we have Infernocus out of the package, and there are some things that I really like about this figure, but overall it's just kind of a black toy to me. I love the color scheme. I love the black and the red and the silver dry brush on it. I think that is really nice, but I think it's wasted on this figure set. The head sculpt I really like. It looks very demonic, very cool looking, but again, I think it's wasted on the toy itself. It's an okay sized figure, I suppose. So just to kind of show the size comparison, let me get another Age of Extinction figure here. So here we have, let's see, let's use this guy. this little pile of poodoo here. Let me get him to stand in the shot. There we go. So here we have Skullytron next to Infernocus, and as you can see, yeah, he's bigger than this guy, but he's not very big. So he might be Voyager height. Let's get Hound in here and see how he stacks up. So here's Autobot Hound, Voyager class. Yeah, he's actually a little bit taller than Hound. So, I mean, he's a pretty good size, but everything else is just so tiny. I would have rather had this guy been a Voyager and some deluxe figures, but that would have required Hasbro to actually invest into like 5 brand new molds, and that we just cannot happen for this 5th Bayformer film franchise. And with that being said, it's very interesting to reuse these figures from Transformers Prime Beast Hunters. And I think they've done it pretty well, save for this middle piece that really doesn't transform in the robot mode. So before we get into all of that, let's go ahead and take a look at the articulation of Infernicus himself. Let's see here. So his head does not really... Yeah, it does rotate. It's just very, very stiff, so it does move back and forth. His arm does move a little bit. There's a hinge right there. It hinges upward like that, so you can get some movement there. There is nothing at the waist. The hands, this hand is very articulated because it's head and legs and such. And then the legs don't really move on mine too well. It wants to break apart at the hips when it does. They're just really, really tight. He's got knee joints right there, and then his feet are a bloody mess because it's a bunch of legs and things that just kind of stand there. So yeah, you're just going to watch him fall. I can guarantee it. You're going to pose him, put him on the shelf, and just leave him there. That's all you're going to do with him. So taking a closer look at Infernocus himself, I really do like the head sculpt on it. I like this kind of demonic Lord of the Rings looking, Balroth looking thing. The silver paint apps on it, very nice. The red eyes. I like the red paint on the chest and all the little hieroglyphs. All the red bits look nice. Everything else is just kind of there. And then he's got these weird big kind of gappy spot on his back. Which, I don't know, it kind of almost looks like reverse rib cages back there, which is interesting. And then you've got the Terracons that just kind of clamp on around. Now, the stamp, they made a big deal about the tempo stamping type stuff on his chest, and that does look really cool. I will give it that. Now, looking at the midsection of the figure, I will say his left hand, which is, was it... center twin, the Terracon, looks cool. It's got a big grapply type thing, and I do appreciate that. And it looks better in black than it did in the original yellow. The wings I like on the side here. I've got them straight out of the box. They're supposed to be reversed. I just never really switched them. And I like how he's got the sword, which looks like it should be the tail of some large beast. And, you know, I think the upper arms definitely are better than the legs of the figure, although I think the right hand needs a larger arm. I don't know. It's just kind of wimpy compared to that nice big clawish left hand. And, you know, that is a great start, but unfortunately that's about where it stops with this figure. And finally, taking a look at the legs of the figure, I do not have what they had on the package or out of box exactly. I modified one of the legs to be more into line with what the original Abomination figure had. It just stabilizes the foot a lot more. But yeah, I don't know. They could have executed this a little bit better, I think. I love the repaint. I love the color scheme. I just wish we would have gotten new figures to do this with. For comparison, here we have Infernocus next to Abomination. And, Yeah, this guy does look better, I think, in the full Gestalt mode. I really love the fact we've got a Legends Combiner from this Terracon set, even though it's pretty much just a bunch of weird, goofy mess of characters. It was kind of cool that they all did come together, and you could have gotten this in a box set, or I individually collected each one, which was a lot of fun to put together. And when I had gotten them, I didn't know that they were going to be a combiner, which was a bonus. Now, this guy you can only get in a set, obviously, but I think it works better. For some reason, the gangly parts work better. I think it's because the main figure here is larger compared to Abomination, where he was just another Legends figure, so they're all just kind of clumped onto one another. And it's that, you know, the main body figure just works better as a larger figure. So, you know, Deluxes versus a Voyager or a Scout class type of character versus Legends figures, that just works better. If you would like to see a toy versus toy with these two figure sets, please comment in the channel down here and vote in the poll that I've attached to this video. Now, something else that is very cool that comes with Infernocus here is Quintessa. She is a little translucent plastic figurine of the Quintesson, basically, that we get out of Transformers The Last Knight. Now, the interesting thing is, it's a hard plastic, which I was expecting it to be rubber. It actually stands really well. It's a translucent blue. There is no articulation because, well, it's a little figurine. So taking a closer look at Quintessa herself, which I find it interesting that her name is the Quintesson home planet in the G1 film. This might be the first Quintesson we've gotten officially from Hasbro or Takara since the Alpha Quintesson. Was it Alpha Q from, good lord, the Armada trilogy. And if you have not seen that review, I'll add a card to that here so you can go check that out. It's detailed really, really well. I like the look, and it looks like the character from the movie, and which was very, very tiny, and we see her show up again at the end of the film in the credits talking about how to kill Unicron. I wish we got a larger figure of her. You know, a deluxe figure would have been fine. Obviously, she didn't have to transform, but I would have liked her to see her transform, maybe into a Generation 1 Quintesson. That would have been a really fantastic way for us to get a G1 Quintesson that we never got from the original movie and show, and then we could have had it transform into this. I think that would have been a lot of fun, but it was still kind of cool that they did add her into the Infernocus set so that you at least got the character in toy form. Here we have the Infernicons in their beast modes, and I do have to say that I like the repaints of the Terracons, you know, except for, is it Center Twin here? He's a little plain Jane. He could have used more silver, I think, to match this guy over here. Maybe some silver on the tail and on the neck. Some dry brush silver would have really kind of brung something out on that figure because he's just so plain Jane. Maybe a little bit more red. I think if they would have put some silver paint apps on the tail and then some red paint apps on the neck, it would have looked a lot cooler, but it is what it is. Now, of course, they're not actually the Terracons, they're the Infernicons, and they have new names. So this guy right here is Rapture. This is Thrash now. This little guy is Gorge. And then this little guy is Glug. And then we have Skulk right here. Now, officially, Skulk does not have a beast mode. He just turns into a robot and then turns into the body of the Combiner for Infernocus. But I was fooling around with it, and I made my own little beast mode. So this is an unofficial beast mode for Skulk, which is kind of this creepy-looking, spider-bot-looking thing that kind of reminds me of something from Starship Troopers. So what I did, let me just kind of get this guy a little closer if I can get a hold of him. So what I did, I just took his weapons and I put them on the pegs or the mushroom clamps, and then stuffed them up under here. Pulled the head down a little bit, closed this up like I was going to make Infernocus, and then put his arms and his legs down, and I think that looks pretty decent. It doesn't have a head, and then I took the rib cage out a little bit and gave it kind of a little more dimension. So let's, this rib cage isn't out. There we go. So yeah, I mean, I think that looks pretty decent. I think it works with the rest of the group. They're all just kind of, I don't know, made up looking monsters, but I think he definitely fits the mold with the rest of them. Now, I will say the plastic on the individual figures, when you're transforming them, they feel cheap. They feel cheaper than the original Legends figure, especially this guy right here. For some reason, he just pops apart. I never had that problem with my original figure, and they just, I don't know, there's something about them. The quality just doesn't seem the same, and that's unfortunate. I will say, however, after getting these guys apart and playing around in their little monster modes, I cannot wait for SirToys.com to start selling the oversized version of this guy. They've got the oversized Abomination set, so you know this set is coming at some point. So taking a closer look at these guys, since they're so small, we've got Rupture and Thrash. I think I called him Rapture. I love the red wings on this pterodactyl-like beast. I think that is very cool. Everything else is pretty much a flat black. He does have red painted eyes, which is nice. And then Thrash, he's just all kind of a charcoal black with some red eyes. Again, I wish this guy had some red paint apps along the spines of his neck, and then maybe some of that nice silver dry brush along the tail. I think that would have made this look a lot cooler. So here we have a closer look at Glug and Gorge, and again, I like the paint decos here. I like the silver paint apps on Glug there. I think that looks really cool. Definitely digging that. And then Gorge has got the red stripe along the top, and he's got the red along his body. Very, very cool. I just like the repaints. I think the silver and the black and the red go really well with these Terracons. I mean, Infernocons. And finally, here we have a closer look of my fan-made beast mode for Skulk. He officially does not have a beast mode, so I kind of made my own here, and I like the way it looks. I think it has kind of a cross between something from Lord of the Rings and Dark Crystal. Kind of spider-like. He's got the little spikes underneath. I like how the red kind of looks, you know, that all looks like the bulb of a spider, and then he's got like 6 legs going on there. Very cool, definitely interesting, and because all the other ones are all made-up looking creatures, why not have some kind of weird headless spider beast thing that runs the entire group? Sure, why not? Here we have the Infernicons all in their robot modes, and it's a bunch of dark charcoal black plastic with some silver and red bits here and there. Now, I will have to say that Skulk does look cool in his robot mode. He kind of reminds me of something out of, what was the movie? Was it Unicorn with Tom Cruise? No, Legend. It was Legend. The demon devil thing in Legend, that's what that really reminds me of. And again, these guys, the other Infernicons, are basically just black repaints of the Terrorcons. And it just, I don't know, the plastic quality on them just doesn't feel as good as the original Beast Hunter figures, I think. But again, I think they're going to be a lot more fun in a larger scale than what they are here. It's interesting that they did it, but I'm definitely going to keep an eye at SirToys.com because they've got the oversized Abomination figures with all these, so some Chinese company just has to repaint them in these colors and then come up with a new Skulk. And here we have a closer look at Thrash and Rupture in their robot modes. Again, they're exactly the same as the Terracons that we got in Transformers Prime. They're just painted black and red. Again, Thrash is just too black. It's just, that didn't sound right at all. I don't know, he needs something to break up that color. I think the red and the silver paint would have done nicely, or orangish red, whatever color you want to call that, that Rupture has on his wings. I definitely like that color. I think that works well. It breaks out the kind of charcoal black going on there. Definitely looks cool. Reminds me a lot of Predaking from Transformers Prime Beast Hunters, which is very, very cool. Again, I'm just waiting for these guys to get redone in a KO oversize. And here we have Gorge and Glug in their robot modes, and I think, was it Glug? He looks okay. Again, he suffers from the same problem that Thrash had, where it's just all charcoal black. He does have his silver paint apps, but you only really see them in the Beast mode. Now, Gorge, on the other hand, is one of the better looking of the robots in this form. We get the red on his chest and his eyes there, and he just looks like a more solid and stout figure. He's just tiny. These would have been much cooler if they were in the deluxe size scale. And finally, we have Skulk, who is a completely new sculpt, and he does look pretty cool in his robot mode. Again, he looks like the Beast thing from Legend, which I really do dig. He's got the two smaller swords that break apart from Infernocus' larger sword, and I swear that sword is the tail to a Predacon somewhere, like maybe Predaking or something. If you know where this is from, leave a comment, because I swear it's been used before. I just don't know where. And again, I like it. I like how he's got the skull kind of down in his rib cage for Infernocus. I think that's pretty cool. And then the little head sculpt with the horns looks very, very nice. It's unfortunate that they didn't give him an official beast mode, but hey, I think I did a pretty good job in creating my own. Have you guys done any custom or fan-made beast modes for this guy? If so, definitely leave links down in the comments below to it, to your videos, or go to my Facebook page at Ultra Maximus Reviews on Facebook.com and post them there. So is Infernocus from Transformers The Last Knight something that you want in your Transformers collection? This is an easy pass, very easy pass figure set. It is not worth the money. This is like $35 at retail. When I bought the thing, I was like, I don't want to spend this money on this figure. And I still feel that way. I like the concept of the Combiner. We see him for like one scene in the movie, and then he gets slaughtered by Optimus Prime. But, I would have rather have had deluxe figures. I didn't think we got enough Decepticons in the toy line anyway, so had they had actually made figures for the set instead of cheapening out and then repainting Terracons and then slapping together a middle figure to make this, it would have come out better. I think I would have liked it a lot more. It just seems very cheap, and it's expensive for what it is. I don't think it's worth the money. And if it was about $15 cheaper, sure, I would have paid $20 for this all day long. I think I would have been happy with that. But the way it is, it's not worth $35. If you do get this, just know it's going to stand there just like that on your shelf. And it does look cool and demonic and evil, but it just, the paint on it is awesome. I love it. It's just on the wrong figure, I think. I don't know. What do you guys think? Leave a comment down below. Would you like to see a toy versus toy of Infernocus versus Abomination? Please vote in the poll I have listed on there. And, well, there he is, Infernocus, the Toys R Us exclusive from Transformers The Last Knight.
Hey guys, thanks for watching. If you like this video, thumbs it up. If you hate this video, thumbs it down. To watch more Ultra Maximus, click on the links to the right. Don't forget to subscribe and share, like us on Facebook, and look for more videos in the future.